Hey there, Libra. Welcome to your reading for the week of November 18th. This week, you start with this Serendipity card and this Change in the Wind card. I love this Serendipity card. It's kind of like a card that says luck is on your side, and I'll show you in a minute, but this lady here on the card is being lifted up by a four-leaf clover, so there could be a lot more luck, or that could be, your luck could be changing, is with that Change in the Wind card, which would be great, especially starting with the Five of Pentacles. Sorry, you have the Five of Pentacles, Ace of Cups, and the Hierophant. The Five of Pentacles, of course, can represent feeling left out or feeling left out in the cold. Five of Pentacles to me has a very easy solution, which is to double down on your strengths, or to make sure that you are focusing on the good stuff. Make sure you're focusing on things that are working in your life and do not call attention to your weaknesses. But again, I kind of do feel that your luck may be changing at this time. A lot of people have had the devil in their readings, and the devil, of course, can represent toxic energy, toxic vibes. We do have a lot of retrogrades, and we are in the Mercury retrograde shadow at the end of the year here, so I would say that a lot of people could be removing themselves, or they could be healing. Actually, I'm going to show you these first. They could be healing from toxic situations. Like I said, on this Serendipity card, this lady is being lifted up by that four-leaf clover there, and you have the Change of the Wind card, which it's like the wind is lifting her up with that four-leaf clover. So I think there is some sort of change in your luck. One thing I will point out as well is that, sorry, this was not in reverse, but Five of Pentacles, Nine of Swords to the Devil. This could say that there is something toxic, or, there is a toxic habit or person or something that needs to be removed from your life so that you can, change your luck. So if you do have something that's like draining your energy, then I would remove it. I always look at the devil as kind of like an energy vampire. It can be something that is just draining your energy, draining your vibes, and that's what I would focus on here with the Five of Pentacles. You have the Ace of Cups. So the Ace of Cups is the complete opposite. The Ace of Cups is overflowing with energy. It has so much energy that it can reach down into the water below it, and it can fill itself back up. And those are the situations that I would really be putting yourself into this week here, Libra, is situations that cause you to overflow. That cup is overflowing. So I think those are going to be the best situations for you. Those are going to be the things that make you feel free and lucky. And this could be anything. It could be your job. It could be, people you work with. It could be love, but I really don't think the Ace of Cups is talking about like anything specific. I think it's talking about, everything that you do in your life and making sure that you enter into those situations that flow. We do see a lot of love here. I mean, you have the Ten of Cups, Two of Cups, Page of Pentacles, this card, Hierophant, as well. So for those of you looking for love, there definitely could be a connection. You have the Hierophant, and the Hierophant really is, I think he's talking about your vision. The Hierophant, he has a vision. He's able to communicate with heaven. He's able to communicate the words of heaven down to earth. That's the whole point of the Hierophant. And so I think for a lot of you, especially with the Ten of Cups as well, which we'll talk about in the next row, that you might have a vision for your life, and the Hierophant is all about doing things to bring that vision down to earth. And so you also have the moon right next to it. The moon is very similar. I always say with the moon that usually the moon can represent a dream where we just don't know how we can accomplish it, but the moon is part of the fool's journey, and even though he doesn't know how to do something, the moon says he has to go down that path on the moon. And again, we'll talk about that in a minute. With the Five of Pentacles, you have the Nine of Wands. I actually feel this is pretty good because this could say that you already have boundaries up against something that is toxic, or, that has toxic vibes. So you might already be protecting yourself, from this toxic situation or person or thing with the Nine of Wands. The Nine of Wands does say, like, don't give up as well. So it does want you to keep pushing. With the Ace of Cups, you have the Hangman. The Hangman, this is about being put on pause. He has sacrificed movement. He has sacrificed the use of his arms and his legs on this card, and his head is glowing. And so he put himself on pause to gain enlightenment. And a lot of you, this is coming up in your first row. The first row can be like your past position, or it can represent the past. So maybe a lot of you are kind of coming off of a period of time where you have been on pause, or you have been, kind of like not making moves, just like as big moves. I feel like you've been making small moves, but maybe not like really big moves with the Hangman. But again, I would say the good news is I kind of feel like you're leaving that Hangman period behind. With the Hierophant, you have the Four Wands. Definitely could be marriage. So, for some of you, if you want love, there could be marriage here. You do go Nine of Swords to the Knight of Wands. And so if you do want love, this kind of tells me that what you are used to is inconsistent people. So I would definitely be careful of any past inconsistent people, or, again, if it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, it's a duck. So if you meet any new people at this time and they seem inconsistent, then they probably are. But again, it actually looks pretty good for love. So we'll have to see. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have this owl. It says prophecy, attentiveness, and secrets. You have a starfish. It says cosmic energy, mystical awareness, and regeneration. Yeah, I mean, again, with the retrogrades, we're definitely in a period of regeneration. Retrograde energy is great for anything with an RE in front of it, which includes regeneration. So I would say taking time to heal, rest, relax, recover, all that stuff would be a good idea. I also feel with the owl that you need to pay attention to your senses, and especially if you're meeting a new person or entering into any type of new situation, I would pay attention to what you feel. You have the Ten of Cups, the Nine of Swords, and the Moon. The Ten of Cups is happiness. It's fortune after difficulty, or good things happening after a difficult period of time. These people are celebrating these 10 cups that are above their heads. You always get the Ten of Cups with me. I'm pretty sure that you always get this card. Ten of Cups does not mean you will be happy. It means that you have to choose happiness. They are standing in the real world, and the whole point of the Ten of Cups is that they still have to deal with all their issues and problems and the issues of the world, but they're choosing to focus on happiness. They're not focusing on any of the problems. So I think for a lot of you, this is about correcting your thoughts. And again, this has been coming up for you all year. So this year could be an important year to focus on just happiness, joy, peace, things like that. You have the Nine of Swords. Nine of Swords can definitely say there's a cycle that needs to come to an end. Nine of Swords is like having a nightmare, waking up, being stuck in a nightmare. And so there could be some sort of never-ending nightmare that just needs to come to an end. For some of you, I think it's involving something toxic with the devil. The thing with the devil is that it's very easy to set yourself free from the devil. Those people, those chains hang very low down around their necks, right? And so they could easily lift those chains off from around their necks and they could set themselves free. So I think for a lot of you, this is saying it's time to set yourself free. You have the Moon. The Moon can represent illusions, fantasies, darkness, not seeing things clearly. The Moon is part of the Fool's journey, and he needs to work his way from here down to those mountains. And the mountains can represent an obstacle, but the mountains also represent an achievement, and he needs to, excuse me, he needs to see his way to the top of that mountain. And it is interesting that you go up to the Hermit, and the Hermit is standing at the top of a mountain. So it looks to me like a lot of you are either about to complete your Moon's journey, or you already have completed the Moon's part of the journey. Yes, with the Ten of Cups, you have the Hermit. So again, he's standing at the top of the mountain. I believe, and again, this is not accurate tarot, but I believe that the Hermit's next steps are to come down from the mountain. When he is in isolation. He's been through something very difficult. And whenever you go through something difficult and you go and you put yourself in isolation, especially if people, didn't support your journey or something like that, I think that it's very tempting to stay at the top of the mountain. But the Hermit has learned a bunch of new skills, and these new skills will probably attract people to him that are more in alignment with what he has learned. And I'm not talking about love, although that could be part of it. I'm talking about all people in all types of relationships. And I feel this is saying you need to come out of isolation so that you can, kind of surround yourself with people who lift you up. With the Nine of Swords, you have the Emperor. The Emperor is about taking control of your situation, especially with that Nine of Swords. So I don't really feel this is a person necessarily. I think this is just an energy that you're embracing. I also think that you need to be ready to take advantage of an opportunity, which I feel like I said to you recently maybe, but the Emperor has his armor on underneath his cloak here, and the armor on underneath his cloak basically represents the fact that he's ready to go at a moment's notice. Whenever an opportunity presents itself, he is ready to take advantage of that opportunity. And so, again, I think also with the going up to the Knight of Wands, the Knight of Wands can represent being spontaneous, but it can say that there's a spontaneous opportunity, meaning that out of the blue, you could be getting an opportunity for work or in business, and it might be something that you have to kind of be ready to take advantage of, because it could be very random. It's stuff like this is is, your boss coming to you and being like, oh, so-and-so just got fired and we're looking for someone to take their position. Will you do it? And you might not have a lot of time to decide, right? And so this kind of says, be ready for those kind of like out of the blue opportunities. Yes, with the moon, you have the Knight of Wands again. Whenever we have these, like all these repeating cards, it's basically the universe saying I meant what I said. It's the universe kind of being like, yes, you need to be ready to take advantage of these opportunities, or you need to be ready to jump on something kind of random. The Knight of Wands, and the moon also, the whole point of the moon is that it's part of the fool's journey, and he doesn't necessarily know like if he's going to accomplish his goal or not. The moon, it might be an illusion, it might be something that he can't accomplish, even though it is. And the Knight of Wands is the true builder in the tarot. If like he doesn't know how to do something, he builds what he needs as he goes. So I think a lot of you are in a time where you're kind of like learning as you go. Next, in the area of messages from your future self, you have this card that says a time for healing. You have this card that says a surrender to the divine, and it has a big full moon on it. So, again, when we surrender to the divine, our heart might be telling us to move towards something that we don't know the details of. So I think a lot of you are living more in this space of like inspiration, right? It's like inspiration rarely makes sense, especially in this like 3D world. It's like you might feel inspired to start a zoo in your backyard, and it's like, how the hell are you going to survive if you do that? And so our inspirations usually don't make sense. But if we go on that journey, you never know what you might be able to accomplish. So, we have to kind of like follow our inspirations. Definitely a time of healing. We already talked about it. Next, you have the Knight of Wands, the Hermit, and the Devil. I would be careful, especially with all the retrogrades of like a past inconsistent person trying to return to your life here, Libra. The Knight of Wands is all about going on an adventure as well. So I think it's time for new adventures is what the Knight of Wands is saying. I also feel that the Hermit himself is pretty much saying you've learned everything you need to learn from a past cycle. So again, if a person's coming back, it's like, do you need to learn the lesson again? Probably not, is what the Hermit is saying. The Hermit also needs to shine his inner light. He has the star in his lantern, and I always say he needs to like blast that star out all over the place. That star is his inner light. It's kind of like what he learned on his journey through the darkness, climbing the mountain, and now he's earned his right to shine that inner light, or to kind of share his voice or his thoughts or his feelings or whatever. And again, he needs to shine that inner light and do it. You have the Devil. So like I said, I would be careful of anything toxic from the past. We've already, beaten this to death, so we're going to move on. With the Knight of Wands, you have the Two of Pentacles. Two of Pentacles is about being very busy. Two of Pentacles, the card of like spinning plates and having a lot to do. And I do think you are in a very busy time, Libra. Especially for you, for like the next few years, I think you are going to be putting in a lot of work into things. And again, this is not a bad thing. I think this is going to be great for you. I think you're going to accomplish a lot. But I do think it's a journey. And that's what you have to, I think that's what this reading is trying to get you to realize, is that there will be ups and downs. But the downs don't necessarily mean that you're not accomplishing something. And there's definitely something about that I'm getting here. It's like, I think in those down moments, you might be thinking to yourself like, oh, what I'm working on is never going to work. But, I kind of feel like this is saying like, no, that's not true. Things are working for you, but you just have to, keep pushing forward. With the Hermit, you have the Seven of Wands. Open up, right? The Seven of Wands, he is defending his position at the top of this hill here, but he's being very closed off. So I think that it's time for you to open up to, allowing like happiness into your life, especially with that Ten of Cups. But like I said, with the Ten of Cups, we have to choose happiness. The Seven of Wands is also a card of conviction. It says when you know that something is going to work out for you, then that's when it's going to work. And the Seven of Wands is about, developing that real deep belief that something can go your way, but you really, really have to believe it deep down inside. And, that's what I would do with the Seven of Wands is, practice believing that something is for you. The Seven of Wands also might say that you feel like you're not ready for something. He has two different shoes on, or a shoe and a boot on here. And the story of the card is that he rushed out of his house to defend his position at the top of the hill, and he was in such a rush that he put on two different shoes. But, on a personal level, it can say that you feel like you're not ready for something that you actually are ready for. With the Devil, you have the Wheel of Fortune. Yes, I would be careful of repeating any cycles. The Wheel of Fortune is all about a cycle, and especially with the devil as well. But like Five of Pentacles, Nine of Swords, the devil. Do you really need to repeat a cycle with a person? I would say no. I mean, again, I can't control your life, and I would never tell you what to do. But I think this is saying like don't repeat a cycle. You have this Great Pyramid, and this is coming up in the good stuff. It says mystery and ceremony. And you have this air spirit as well, which you are an air sign, so. I kind of feel like this air spirit card is saying that you are showing up in a very strong position in this reading. You also have the moon, and sorry, I'm getting a cold and I'm losing my voice here, Libra, so bear with me. But you have this mystery card, and the moon is all about mystery or embracing mysteries or digging into mysteries. So I think anything that is a mystery, you should learn about it. You have the Two of Cups, Page of Pentacles, and the Four of Pentacles. The Two of Cups is a perfect match coming in for you. So, if you do want love, not really a love reading, but there definitely could be a new connection coming in for you. I think what you have to trust, or maybe what you have to, I'll say this as well. There's like a lot of loneliness in this reading. Hermit twice, Five of Pentacles. Stuff like that can represent feeling alone. But it's like sometimes we do have to get to a point where we are happy on our own so that we can attract like a good person. And the Two of Cups is usually a person who's different than your usual type. And I do feel this is talking about attracting a different type of person than this last person. And so if you do want love, I would pay attention to that. I think for all of you, even if you don't want love, I feel the Two of Cups is a card of you and your higher self. So it's a card of communicating with your higher self so that you can be guided on your journey. You have the Page of Pentacles. I kind of just feel like good news here, but you've been getting these cards of good news. So if you're hoping for good news or like approval on something, the Page of Pentacles can represent, getting approval or being approved for something that you've been waiting for. You also have the Four of Pentacles. Four of Pentacles in the good stuff would represent stabilizing your finances. This has been a big theme for you for, a couple of years now, at least, Libra, that a lot of you have been working towards, improving finances or stabilizing your finances. And I feel like it's like kind of like finally happening. I still don't, I think I said this in your last reading as well, that like I don't feel things are perfect yet for you financially, but I do think that you are definitely making those improvements. It's like, I think you're learning things that will make your finances better. With the Two of Cups, you have the Four of Swords. Four of Swords is about resting, relaxing, recovering. This came up about 20 times in your reading, with all these healing cards and everything. So I think it would be a great time for you to heal or improve your finances in some way, but also your health. And, the Four of Swords can represent healing pretty much anything in your life. And that could include like your financial health, your personal health, all that other good stuff. With the Page of Pentacles, you have the Queen of Wands. Yes, that's what I was looking for. The Queen of Wands is about learning as you go. I think we said that earlier. And, the moon is definitely very similar because the Fool has no clue what he's doing when he gets to the moon. He just has to trust that what he is aiming at is the right direction. The Queen of Wands is the card of learning as you go. And so she doesn't know what she's doing either, but she just has to trust that she's going in the right direction. And that's what I feel this is all about. With the Four of Pentacles, you have the Four of Cups. Four of Cups can represent having been disappointed many times in the past with what you have received. But the good news is showing up in the good stuff. The Four of Cups can say that you're finally getting something like an opportunity that you've been waiting for, or you're finally getting something that you've been hoping that you could get. And that's definitely what I feel here. You have this July card and this ring card. It says a marriage will take place either in romance or business. Some of you could be meeting someone who is born in the month of July. And, I'm not saying you're going to get married like now, but definitely could be a person that you're going to marry in the future. I also feel like between now and July of next year, you could be meeting a person that you could marry. And again, I don't think it's going to happen overnight, but, definitely could be a good connection. I also definitely with that Page of Pentacles and, based off your past readings as well, I feel a lot of you could be committing to new careers or new positions. You have this Beetle card that says good fortune on it. And again, it is a fortunate reading. You have the Wheel of Fortune, you have the Serendipity card, which is your luck changing. And I feel like your luck is changing, but like a couple of things here. I feel like you need to believe it with that Ten of Cups. And I also feel like you need to surround yourself with people who do increase your luck, like good influences, right? As far as people are concerned with this energy. You have this rabbit card that says too much concern with sexual matters. I would definitely be careful of this past person. Devil would definitely be a person who's like this. So, be careful. You have this eye card that says psychic ability, trust your intuition. Yeah, very intuitive time, especially with the moon. And finally, you have this wedge. It says someone is trying to come between you and a friend or something you want. And you have this pig. It says beware greed. This could be a past person trying to get in between you and a new person. And I would definitely, do whatever you can. Block, move on. Tell them off. Do whatever you got to do with this energy. But all in all, I think your luck is changing here, Libra. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your week.